Somewhere in the Forest of Bowland, England, CamperVanya pulled into a quiet campsite for a peaceful solo overnight stay. The plan was simple: set up the van, enjoy the scenery, light a fire, and unwind.
Around on the floor in the back because you haven't loaded properly. Or is it just me? Anyway, normal service has been resumed. Onward!
The evening passed calmly. She explored the small fishing lake, checked the spotless facilities, cooked dinner, and lit a modest fire as the temperature dropped. With music playing and the pop top raised, she finally turned in for the night, the forest silent around her.
And then you hang it from wherever, or it just sits between the seats, but it's just a lot tidier, and any nasty niffs, depending on what you've been eating. I don't mean that way. I mean like anything you put in the bin, it's just kept locked away a bit more. That's my baby all set up. Now, one of the main benefits of a little van over a big van is that you don't have to get out of bed in the morning to switch the kettle on. Easy peasy. And while that's boiling, you can have another 5 minutes.
But by morning, something was wrong. Stepping outside, she noticed the fire pit had changed. The night before, it was filled with half-burned logs and ash. Now almost everything was gone. Not burned down, removed. Only one charred piece of wood remained.
Most of the wood's disappeared out of the fire. When I left it last night, I didn't burn it for long. There were still large chunks in there, but mostly burnt. But now, there's only one piece, and not a lot of ash. So why would someone take wood that was burnt? I don't have a problem with it, but I'm very confused.
There was barely any ash. No signs of the fire spreading, no mess. Someone had taken the wood. Who steals half-burned logs in the middle of a campsite, silently, during the night? No footprints, no sounds, no explanation.
Confused. Look. At least you didn't take the whole bloody fire pit.
I'll be getting over it. I don't know what I'm bringing in closer. Yeah, I'm looking ahead, looking out for someone like you. Maybe someday when I've grown older, I can see it all.
They just needed her to know they'd been there. March 2025, deep in the Georgia woods near Blood Mountain, solo van lifer Beth from Beth's midlife adventure believed she had found the perfect place to disappear for a few peaceful days.
You know that I lie when I say that I'm fine, 'cause you know me like that. You know me better than anyone I know. Yeah, you know I need space, a little time for myself when I'm stressed and upset. You know me better than anyone.
The campsite was remote, quiet, and surrounded by waterfalls. No neighbors, no noise. Just her van, her cat, and the forest. For 2 days, everything felt safe. She cooked over the fire, worked inside her van, and slept with the sound of rushing water nearby. Then, in the middle of the day, a car pulled up behind her campsite.
This place turned out to be exactly what I was hoping for. I really love starting my day by being outside in the sun, getting all that vitamin D, but then also the added bonus was just being able to sit by the creek with just the sound. So something crazy kind of happened today. I was actually sitting in my van. I am pretty deep in the...
Two men got out. Instead of staying on the trail, they walked directly into her camp. One went to the creek. The other approached her van, staring through the front window, waving at her cat. Beth sat frozen inside, clearly visible. Her chair, hammock, and fire ring made it obvious someone lived there.
In a wildlife management area where you're allowed to park, like it's public land, certain spots in the woods, and you can find one that's open and camp there legally. So I've been out here for a couple days. I've just been all by myself out here. I'm in this area called Blood Mountain. This car parks behind me and a guy gets out. He literally walks into my campsite, like goes straight up to the creek. And I notice he has a tripod and a camera. I'm like, why is he taking photos right in my campsite? The creek goes the whole way. There's tons of waterfalls. You don't need to come right into my campground. Meanwhile, it's middle of the day, so I do not have my window coverings up. I'm actually sitting up on my bed working on my laptop. Well, then a second gentleman gets out of the car, and I call him a gentleman because he's a little bit older. Okay, like he's going to realize somebody's here because I'm obviously not sitting out. My chair is out there, my hammock is out there, my fire, as you could see, is like not even 4.
The man moved closer, peering through her side window, then stood at the foot of her bed, looking inside her home.
He's right there in my window. It was so uncomfortable. I'm like, okay, he just saw the cat, he's going to move on. But no. Then he starts looking into my side window right here, my sliding door window. You know, there's all this wide open space. Like, were they trying to intimidate me? Because if that's the case, it was working. He comes up to the foot of my bed where my window is by my feet and is looking into the window into my...
Her body snapped into fight or flight. Against her instincts, she opened the door, immediately realizing how dangerous that choice was. They left, but the damage was done.
Thing ever. But I went in there like, excuse me, can I help you? No, I cannot help them. No, why did I open my door? I am not going to take on 2 grown men by myself. That's just not going to happen. But that was my...
By yourself, don't ever open your door. Never. April 2021, somewhere in northwest Texas, a solo female van lifer pulled into what was supposed to be a safe overnight stop through a trusted host program. After days on the road, the plan was simple. Park behind a local business, do laundry, unwind, and leave early in the morning.
In no man's land. We are, for sure, in the middle of nowhere. For sure.
You ready? The next day, I got back on the road. I have a lot of ground to cover to make it to North Carolina and needed to keep it.
At first, everything seemed normal. Grocery stores nearby, a laundromat across the street, city lights in the distance. But the moment she stepped outside with her dog, the atmosphere shifted.
To just park for the night, unwind, get some laundry done, support a small business, and then tomorrow we're going to have a trek. I want to get all the way to East Texas, past Dallas. So, and hopefully we can land at a beautiful winery there, also a Harvest Toast. Texas, it gets a lot harder to boondock and really beautiful.
A man began catcalling her, then followed. She changed direction, looping around the block so he wouldn't see where her bus was parked. Her heart raced as she realized how exposed she was. Alone. Identifiable. Watched.
I literally just took Rio outside to go walk around the block to check out the laundromat, and I'm already getting catcalled. It's so frustrating, especially now. The way I'm traveling, it's just like, ugh. Makes me feel uneasy. I just hate cities, urban areas. And I now, oh, Rio, come on. Gotta pack a little, oh, nope. This way. I just had to walk around.
Back inside the van, panic set in. She locked every door, shared her live location with a friend, and sat in silence behind a noisy bar as the night dragged on. Her dog growled repeatedly at sounds outside, footsteps, voices, movement she couldn't see.
The small little dogs that wanted to chase after Rio, so had to go back around the block. Luckily, the guy wasn't there anymore. I'm excited to get out of here tomorrow morning. Yeah.
Let me pause right there.
Nothing ever happened, but sleep didn't come easily. At dawn, she fled without hesitation. Top comment said, "When creeps pull up on me catcalling, I scream loudly at the top of my lungs, pervert alert." You'd be surprised at how embarrassed they are and take off quickly. Early autumn, deep in a quiet stretch of woodland, the creators behind the channel Ride and Seek parked their van beside a river, planning nothing more than a slow, peaceful camp surrounded by fog, firelight, and flowing water.
Beautiful fog to rise off the water as the sun hits it. It's an incredible sight. Also, because it's so cold, Natalie is going to make us a morning campfire. One of our favorite things. Just love being in the woods. Y'all, there's absolutely nothing like starting your day with a campfire by a river.
The morning was calm. Campfire crackled. Fog lifted off the river. Breakfast, laughter, and chores filled the day, gathering firewood, cooking meals, and enjoying the isolation that van life promises.
All right. It's time to put the slack line. It's been too long.
But as the sun dipped lower and the woods grew darker, something changed. While collecting firewood, an unfamiliar sound rolled through the trees, low, guttural, and deliberate. It wasn't birds. It wasn't wind. It sounded like something growling, something large.
Do you have your axe? Okay. What is that noise? What kind of animal is that? It's creepy. Sounds like it's growling at us. I've never heard that sound before. What the hell is that? Do you hear that? I can't tell where it's if it's coming from the trees or if it's coming from like real low.
The noise echoed, making it impossible to tell which direction it came from, high in the trees or low to the ground. They froze. "We're not alone," one of them whispered.
We're not alone in the woods, guys. Something's out there.
All right, we're gonna go around our business.
The forest, once inviting, now felt closed in. Every snapped twig felt closer. Every shadow felt heavier. Still, they continued quietly, trying not to draw attention.
I love watching her draw because she gets so into it. Where am I at?
I gotta put you in there.
I love when she draws me. I really do.
I can do another one of you. You look pretty in the firelight right now.
Okay, I'll stay right here.
That night, the fire burned lower than usual. Late one night in Metepec, Mexico, van lifers Nayik and Kim parked what they thought was a safe spot on a busy street, planning nothing more than a quiet night's sleep before heading into the mountains.
That was a tight fit. So yeah, welcome to the town of Metepec. So this town is located about 2 hours outside of Mexico City.
It's always super interesting to explore these towns with not a lot of tourists visit, especially international visitors, and just see like the true local Mexico.
The town felt calm, almost welcoming. That illusion didn't last long. At 11 p.m., a knock shattered the quiet. Mexican police stood outside their van, circling it, asking for passports. The officers were polite, but serious.
There's a cop car outside.
Hola, buenas noches. Muy bien, gracias. Sí. Somos de Bélgica. Sí, es muy lejos, ¿no? Cop showed up, they asked my passport, I'm not sure what's going on. They seem friendly.
I'm kind of freaking out. They're walking around the van, they ask for passports.
Turista.
Turista.
Turista,
turista?
Sí, sí.
¿Cuánto tiempo tiene? ¿Cuánto tiempo llevan aquí?
Aquí mañana vamos a Taxco.
Una camioneta llegó viene de allá de Países Bajos.
Sí, sí, sí. En barco de Bélgica hasta Canadá.
Canadá, sí.
De México a Canadá.
No, de Bélgica.
Bélgica
a
Canadá.
Canadá.
Y de
sí,
Canadá a Estados Unidos o
Sí.
directo ya aquí a México.
No, pasamos unos semanas en Estados Unidos
En
también.
Estados Unidos.
Sí. What's going on? What's going on? I don't know.
They were nice. They were very nice, actually. But they started asking.
Before leaving, they gave the couple their phone number and issued one chilling warning: do not open the door if anyone knocks again unless you see police lights. That's when panic set in.
Never had police tell us, like, they gave us their number and they're like, this is our number, this is a number for the fire brigade, and they said repeatedly, do not open the door if anyone knocks unless you can see the lights of the police car. I'm freaking out a little bit now because, I mean, there were so many cars here before and now I'm stressed. Because we're not used to staying in spots where it's not safe. Like, we're always so mindful of it, and now I just feel very stressed.
Got bear spray in case there's a bear that attacks our van, you know?
After the patrol left, the street emptied. The silence felt wrong. Lights went off, curtains closed, then came loud bangs echoing down the road. Too sharp, too close. Gunshots? Fireworks? They couldn't tell. Every sound made their hearts race. The couple clutched pepper spray, keys in hand, ready to flee at any moment. Sleep didn't come until nearly dawn. By morning, they left town immediately.
My goodness.
Okay, maybe it's best if we turn off the lights so at least nobody can see if there's lights in here and they don't take any interest in our van.
We couldn't shake the memory of how serious the police took our situation, and we only got more worried when we heard a few very loud bangs coming from outside the van, somewhere on the streets.
What was that? Those gunshots?
Stay here? I'm not staying here.
Right, now I'm googling if Metepec and Toluca are safe or not. Maybe you should have googled this before you came here. I found an article with the top 10 most violent cities and least violent cities in Mexico. Metepec is on there.
It only takes the wrong place at the wrong time. Stay safe, you guys. July 26th, 2025. somewhere along the Black Hills of South Dakota. The creators of Let's Turn It Up World were living the RV dream until the sky turned against them.
Good morning, good morning. So we're actually heading to the Black Hills today, but first...
All right, it's my baby's turn to fill up. You get to do the dirty deed.
I get to do the dirty deed.
What started as a routine travel day quickly shifted when they learned they were driving straight into a tornado watch. Reports of softball-sized hail, 80-mile-per-hour winds, and violent storms filled the radio, and suddenly their RV felt less like shelter and more like a tin can on wheels.
In our RV.
In the RV. But to hear the snowball size makes me really nervous about the solar panels.
And he was saying you get 80-mile-an-hour winds cutting over the Black Hills. We got to get down to Custer, which is about an hour and 15 minutes away to our RV park. So we're getting going.
We got to get going.
We're going. All right, we're going to kind of get everything going, hit the road.
We're
going to be fine.
I'm really nervous.
But we have to get, we'll be fine, baby.
I am so nervous.
As clouds twisted unnaturally overhead, they scrambled for safety, pulling into gas stations, hiding beneath overhangs, constantly refreshing radar apps that barely worked. Every mile felt like a gamble. Should they stay? Should they run? Would the storm hit where they were, or where they were going?
Gas station where we found an actual overhang here, but we can hang out here for a little bit. But oh man, what a pickle!
I know, it's kind of funny. I know actually some food here. Just stay in the overhang. Or we're about 30 or so minutes from Custer.
30 minutes from Custer.
So we also know it's going to hit probably around that time. Right? I'm trying to get some better forecasts on this stuff.
Okay, so we are really, really nervous, and we're trying to decide if we want to move from this gas station and head a little bit more towards Custer, which is roughly 18 miles from here. Now, this tornado warning is...
Night came with no clear answers. The wind howled. The air felt charged. Any moment, they expected the sound of hail smashing solar panels, or worse.
Oh my God. That was really bad.
No, I'm really nervous. I gotta go up there and check. It's,
you can't do that tonight.
Well, once the storm passes.
I think tomorrow.
By morning, the storm had passed, narrowly missing them. But the fear lingered. Nature hadn't attacked. It had stalked them.
About 8:15, I believe it's like a $10 fee to get into the monument area. It should be a lot of fun, so I'm excited to check this out. It's my very first time. I know David was here a while ago, a long time ago, so I'm sure.